Hey, 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 it's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Around the Table. And you're here. Come on in, sit around the table, and get ready. I am Vision Coach Alicia, and tonight, as always on Friday night, I'm sitting around the table just waiting on you. So as you come in, would you just share? Let others have fun with us tonight because I have a very special guest. Her name is Tammy Vaughan, and we're going to have a great time sitting around the table tonight. We want to make sure that you are ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy this broadcast. So, as we get started tonight, hey, Tammy, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing great, just in anticipation of having you on the show with me tonight. I am just so excited. Every Friday night, I think I get supercharged because I know that there's some people that are going to sit with us around the table. And tonight, I'm so excited because I'm going to get to talk to you about your books. So, but before we do, listen, I need you just tell our listening audience from your own mouth without me reading a bio and trying to give you all the props. Just tell them who you are.
Yes, and I don't like the bio and I don't like all the props. I like to just tell you who I am. So
Okay.
I'm Pastor Tammy, and I am the senior pastor of Freedom Christian Center right here in the beautiful state of North Carolina. I am the CEO of Grace Point Recovery Services. We just opened up a mental health agency to help people who are struggling with mental health and substance use. And I am the visionary behind, let me pull them up, these three.
Destined to win.
Destined to Win. Total of
Wow.
60 authors in 3 books. And that's just
Wow.
me. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. I love the Lord and I love God's people. And I know that my purpose in life is here to serve.
Amen. I am just so excited just listening to a few of the things that you said. Mental health, which is really a huge topic and conversation for us within the last 2 years. And I'm really excited for that because I've found it so often that people of color were challenged with admitting when they may need some help with talking to someone about their mental health. But tonight, I'm going to get to know you in a different way, a new way, because we have never met each other before.
Never.
And so, in order for that to happen, listen, I just want to let you all know that her books are 3 books, correct? And the
Yes.
title is Destined to Win. So tell me, because this is the first time I have ever had an author on with 3 books with the same title. So I'm really very curious. Tell us about your books.
Sure. So, what happened was in 2019, I hold a women's conference called Destined to Win. And one particular year in 2019, we had our women's conference, and God moved in such a way that blew our minds. And when the conference was over, I kept hearing a book, a book, a book, a book, but I wasn't ready to personally write a book on my own. So, someone had said, why don't you do a compilation? And so I prayed about it and I asked God what was the number that He wanted me to reach out. And
Yeah.
it was 20 authors. So I reached out to 20 of my friends and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. And would you like to be a part of? Everyone said yes. It was amazing to me. And so, yes, each book is called Destined to Win. However, each book has a subtitle. So, our first volume 1 is Destined to Win, and it is entitled An Antidote to Life's Trials. Because when we came out with volume 1, it was right in the middle of the pandemic. This came
Mm.
out in 2020. We launched it in June of 2020. And so people were home sitting with themselves. They didn't have the hustle and bustle of going to the movies, going to concerts, and being busy and not really taking that time to sit with themselves. And so we gave them an antidote to life's trials. And then Destined to Win Volume 2, we said we pushed past it, and that was released in about September of 2020. And then Destined to Win Volume 3, this subtitle is Broken to Unbreakable, right? So
Wow, that's good.
everything that we go through and everything that we've experienced in our life was meant to break us. But once we come out of it, we find out that we're unbreakable.
Breakable,
And
my goodness.
might I add, because we don't have this book yet. I'm in the middle. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to launch Destined to Win Volume 4,
Yes.
Peace for a Purpose.
Wow. I am telling you, that is such a great strategy. As I'm sitting here listening to you, it's really funny, but chicken soup came into my mind
That's where I got it
because
from.
you know God will give you examples that are good examples where you can really implement that. So that is really good. Let me ask you this question, because you said that first book had 20 women. How do you go about keeping 20 women organized enough for you to be able to produce an anthology, a book with all of them? How does that happen?
So one thing I have to do, I have to acknowledge my publishing company.
Okay.
Shiro Publishing Company. They are out of Raleigh, North Carolina. You can find them on Facebook. They were the ones that helped, because I'd never done this before, and so
Okay.
you're talking about 20 women. You can imagine, you can imagine how that could be. But I will tell you, the professionalism and the organization of Shiro Publishing Company allowed us to be able to have an experience unlike no other, because the women were so eager to tell their story that they had no choice to follow instructions.
Yeah.
you know uh, 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 Pay attention to certain emails and certain things that they need to know for the next step. So I have to give, and of course God, this was the moment that God wanted this to be released, and so He allowed the women to come together. And it's always said, Coach Alicia, that women can't work together,
Right.
right?
Yes.
We
Right.
we, we
That's a
have a
lie.
hard time building a sister bond, because a lot of times women don't know how to be a friend or a sister.
Oh my goodness. Listen, Pastor, you have no idea. Um, my concept, and I just did a quick live on it yesterday, and I did a quick talk on it on what's that thing called Clubhouse today.
Mhm, mhm.
The daughters of Zelophehad. They are such a perfect example of women and sisters learning how to work together, that I have made them my mantra whenever I am trying to
Mhm.
get women to connect and to tell them how they can work together and make something which seems impossible
That's
to
right.
happen. I
Mhm.
always use the daughters of Zelophehad. So that's so great that you said that, because we can work together. And when you have a publishing company as organized as Shiro Publishing, as you said, it really helps. So with that said, how long did it take you to get the first book written together and ready for
Uh,
publication?
our process is 4 months. We
Okay.
go we because there's 12 weeks, 12, either 8 or 12 weeks of coaching. So we just don't
Okay.
say, hey, you're going to write a book, write a chapter. So let me back up a little bit. Each author gets a chapter, and that's
Okay.
about 2,500 words. And
Mm-hmm.
so during that process, we have a writing coach by the name of Coach Kimberly. And so she
Okay.
meets with us once a week and she coaches them. And so that's allowing them, because no one, I've never written any, I've written a bunch of papers in school, but
Yeah.
writing a book is totally different. And so she gets us ready, and teaches us how to get our story out, allow our voice to be heard. Because one thing I love about this book, there's 20 authors in this book, and I say that you're going to find yourself in one of those chapters.
Okay. Okay. That's awesome. So I see why it's so important to have a book coach,
Yes,
someone that could keep you on track, keep you organized, and help you with what to write. Because a lot of times people don't write books because they
no,
don't know where to begin or
that's
how
right.
to start. But it's so necessary to have a book coach. So then let me ask you this other question. 20 women all writing this book.
Mhm.
How did you how did they come up with the titles, and what was the process after they came up with titles to organize them into a book so that they flow? Was there a particular process, or was there just, you know, you tell me.
Well, we didn't give them, um, because this is their story. And so we didn't want to constrain anyone. And
Okay.
so what we did was we gave everybody the subtopic. And it's amazing how God did
Okay.
it, because each book, when I invited the authors in, their story correlated with the subtopic.
Wow.
How That's how I knew that this
Powerful.
that's how
Powerful.
I knew that this was all God, because their story lined up. Everyone, and I'll just give you an example. Like my chapter in the first volume was, I have so many, so I have to look at it. My chapter in the first volume was called "Where Was God in All of This?"
Mm. Okay, where was God in all of this? Sounds like you
Because
went through something.
I went through something
Yes, a little something
that
there.
that tried to take me out. And I'm looking
Yes.
around like,
Where
God,
are
where were
you?
you? And what I
Yes,
learned in my trial was, uh, he was with me the whole time.
the whole time. You know what? I'm listening to you, and what is coming to my mind is so many stories are there to be told, and people are so afraid to take that leap of faith and go out there and write a book. There's enough books for everyone. In my coaching business, I always tell people, don't worry about if your idea seems to be like somebody else's idea. Because if you go into a grocery store, there's 23 different loaves of bread. You just have to choose which one you want. And it's
That's
the
right.
same thing. So when I hear 20 women coming together to write a book and tell one story in that book from their own experience or point of view, I just think that that's absolutely awesome. So would you just share with me some of the titles of the women's chapters
Oh,
that they wrote?
sure.
Just a few
Yeah,
of them.
absolutely. So we have here, um, beautiful transition. We have leaping over hurdles to my destiny. We had
Ooh.
one chapter called Daddy O. This was a young lady who had a lot of challenges with her daddy. We had big wheels, hair bows, fluffy dresses, and patent leather shoes. This was a young
Ooh.
lady. This was a young lady who shared how she was adopted, and When everybody saw her, they saw the hair bows, the fluffy dresses, and the patent leather shoes, but didn't know that behind the closed doors that she was being abused,
Wow, wow,
physically and
wow.
verbally abused by her adoptive mother.
Man, that is so interesting. That's why it's so important to keep on writing. And you have done three so far, and you are on your fourth one. Um, and you're not tired of doing this. Are
No.
all the books, like the first book, you had 20 women. How many women were in your second book?
Second book had 20.
And your third?
20.
You keep finding women to do this. I
Yes.
mean, it is awesome. See, because when we get to understand that there's so much to tell and so much to get out there, you can find people who are willing. Actually, I did my first one with someone maybe about a year ago, and it just got published last month. And I was sitting there having buyer's remorse. I wanted to go back in and, oh my God, I just told too much. I shouldn't have
Mhm.
said all of this. But you know what? I know that I should have.
Mhm.
Because after I wrote that book, my chapter, I got freed of some things that I was holding on to. And so for you to have these women go in, it's like surgery, and it helps with the mental health part of some of their lives. So I'm just really, really excited about that. Let me ask you this other question. In writing the books with these women, have you given them like the freedom of being able to sell the books on their own, or is it located all the books in one area? Is where can you find the books?
So the best thing about my project is the women have free reign over the books. Well, can I go
Okay.
back? Can I go back 1 second, because you
Of
hit something
course,
that
we
you
are
hit
having a
something
conversation.
you hit something that was very important, and I'm going to come from my therapist mind.
Okay.
One of the greatest things about this project is the healing process. I have women who have held something captive inside of them for 20, 30 years. They said no one never knew this. And yeah, there were times where I had authors say, oh, I gotta go back, I gotta take this out. And one thing we say, if they didn't want us to write our story, they shouldn't have never done it.
Wow. That is a different point of view. That's awesome.
And so even as there are times when we get to like the end process after they've written it, now they have all these emotions and their feelings that they suppress for years. And so that's when I will counsel them, I'll pray with them. They've called me all times of the night. That's the only time that I'll answer my phone after 10 if it's one of my authors, because what do you do with all of that when you've released all of that? And like I share with them is that if you're holding all of this for all these many years, imagine the person who's picking up the book and read your story. We're always told we may go through something for 15 years, tell our story, and somebody get delivered in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That
Come
that
on.
that is true. Because the thing is, you most of the times you're not. You got to realize you're not just writing it for you. You're really writing it for someone
Someone
else to read.
else.
Listen, listen. It's Friday night, and we're sitting around the table. This is a place for authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs. And I am your vision coach, Alicia. And tonight I am here with my very special guest, Pastor Tammy Vaughan, and we are speaking about her trilogy right now, Destined to Win. And there's one more coming up after this. So, Pastor Tammy, with all three of the books, where can we get them? Where can we get
Oh,
all three books?
absolutely. You definitely can find them on Amazon. And like I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, the women, the book is the book is there. So they advertise their book on social media. And what I will say is that when an author writes a book, we have one author that she done wrote her own book after the chapter, because once you start writing, you're like, wait a minute, I got more to
Yes.
say. And they start writing their own book. So you can find it on Amazon, or you can go to my website, which is destinedtoinspire.com.
Awesome. So, on Amazon, is it in paperback back only, or are there ebooks available as well?
I believe there may be some Kindle for 1 and 2, but it is
Okay.
paperback.
It is paperback. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Hmm.
Let me ask you, if you would grab your first book,
Hmm.
and would you share something from that book that you think would bless and inspire our viewers tonight?
Absolutely. Just give me one moment.
No
So,
problem. You are listening to the interview of Pastor Tammy Vaughan, author of Destined to Win, where there is a trilogy of this book. And she is going to share with us in just a moment a passage from this book, and it's available on Amazon.com. Pastor Tammy?
thank you so much. So, in volume one, my chapter was, where was God in all of this? I had just survived, I'm a pastor, and I had just survived my second church split with my own spiritual children. And I was in a lot of pain. And so I want to read this one part that says, you see, when we ask God these questions of why, I didn't do that to you, he says. They did it to you. The one thing about questioning God is that in due time, he's going to answer you. Matter of fact, he says, I'm coming in to show the enemy that I'm not happy about what happened to you. And I'll leave you with this. Beloved, do not let what happened to you make you think that God doesn't care about you. He says, don't you let what happened to you make you think that I have forsaken you.
Again, wow. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So, with listening to that, your chapter, if someone like me picks up your book and I read the entire first book, what is it that you would want me to walk away from with after I've read that first book by all these 20 authors?
For me, it would be what we put on the back of the book. Many struggle in life to overcome their hardships, setbacks, and defeats to align their life with what God has for them. Destined to Win is a powerful compilation of these authors sharing their transparency to bless, uplift, and empower others to know that no matter what you've been through, with God, you are destined to win.
That is awesome. No matter what, you are destined to win. Listen, you've got God on your side. And
Amen.
with Him on your side, all things are possible.
Mhm.
So keep in mind that no matter what you go through, whatever you're experiencing, is that there is a win at the end,
Come on.
because if you trust in Him and believe Him. That is so awesome. Now, this fourth book that you are writing, when is it due to come out?
I believe that we're going to start pre launching at the end of this month.
Okay. Well, I expect you to come back on the show with that book and a few of the women with that
Oh,
book,
that'll be
so
nice.
we
They would
can
love
so
that.
we can do at least two or three women on the of that, and we'll talk about that. But let me just go here with this. How after writing a book like that, and women start to get the freedom and deliverance from writing these type of books, how do you raise let me see, because in a book like that they write about someone who reads this book and the person know that it's them that they're talking about in this book.
Mhm.
What kind of recommendation do you tell them to tell the person that they're in the book before, or how do you handle that? That is something that I've been curious about.
Well, one thing we do say is do not mention names. That's number one
Okay.
that we say. That's a part of our contract, because you don't want someone to sue you, right? They know
Okay.
you mentioned their name, that could be a problem. And number two, I tell the authors, pray. Pray, pray, pray. I had one author, she talked about being molested by her babysitter. And to this day, her mom is still friends with her babysitter. So
Ooh.
everybody in her family knows who she's talking about. But this is her story, right? This is her
Yeah.
story. This is what happened to her. So she has every right to share with the
Yeah.
world what happened to her and how God has healed her. Because all three of these books are about, we try not to focus on what the people have done. We share a little bit, but we focus on, this is what has happened to me, and this is what God has done, so that I come out. Like I said in the beginning, I'm a therapist, and I counsel people in their 50s and their 60s, and they're still carrying stuff that happened to them when they're 5 and they're
Yeah.
10 and they're 15. And so I'm honored that these women would take that chance to share their story so that they can walk into their ultimate healing.
Yes, amen. That's too much weight to be carrying something from the time you're 5 and 6 years old. I had to throw those things in the sea of forgetfulness.
That's right.
I would like you to do this. Would you pick up the first book so we can actually see the front of the
Absolutely.
book? And that one is Destined to Win. And I can't see it from there. What is the subtitle?
An antidote to life's trials.
Okay, let's see the second one.
Oh, wait, my light might be too bright.
Destined to Win. We've pushed past it. Okay, that's number
Mhm.
two, which
That's
is
number
number
two.
three. hmm
This might be a little because it's light. There we go.
Destined to Win, Broken to Unbreakable. Okay, what is the price of the books?
The books are 19.99.
Uh-huh.
And what we do is we just don't mail you a book, but we have some goodies. We send you a bookmark, we send you pens. I've sent people mugs. I have Destined to Win mugs. I have Destined to Win face masks. I have
Wow.
pens. We have
Okay.
we have Destined to Win bookmarks, if you can see
Okay.
that. And so
Uh-huh.
what we do is, and I think we have, let me see. Let me pull this. I had it right by me, so let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But we have Destined to Win. I'm pulling it out now. Give me 1 second. We have Destined to Win mugs.
Mugs.
Hmm.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. So it's 19.99 for the book. However, you're going to get a special gift from us. We also have Destined to Win journals, and I don't think I have any of those with me, but we also have journals. So if someone wants to purchase a journal along with that book, that price would be $25. Because, when you're
Okay.
writing a good book, and the one thing I will say about the books, I don't know if the people can see it, but after each chapter, we allow, this is what we have after each chapter.
Okay, where they can write their thoughts or
So they
whatever.
can write their thoughts
That's
and their notes.
awesome.
And then in
Yes.
each chapter, we have everyone's bio. And in their bio, they have their contact information. So if you want to
Oh, that
book
is
them,
great.
if you want to book them for a conference or
Yes,
a book review, yes.
that's great. Listen, because it's three books, do you have any kind of bundles
Oh
that
yes,
you have a
absolutely, absolutely. So we just had our Destined to Win Women's Conference, and we had. I'm trying to see if I have. Oh, there it is. Give me 1 second. Let me push over a little bit,
okay?
and there we are. So we had our women's conference, and this is our bundle. We have these beautiful
Oh,
clear
wow.
bags. Hmm.
Yes.
And so in
Beautiful.
this bundle is $35, and you will get a book, a coffee mug, and a journal.
A book of coffee. I want one of those. So you got to put one of those aside for me. That
Okay.
is, those are absolutely beautiful. Listen, it's Friday night, and you know what that means? You are sitting around the table, and I am your host, Vision Coach Alicia. And this is a place for authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs. So if you're a coach, if you're an author or you're an entrepreneur and you want to come on the show, DM me and I will be happy to share the information. Tonight, my guest is Pastor Tammy Vaughan, and she and a bunch of women have written these three books, Destined to Win, with a fourth one on the way. And I am so excited whenever they take the time to come and sit around the table. As you know, last week we celebrated 1 year of Around the Table, and I am so excited that we made it for 1 year. If you want to, thank you to those of you that sent me monetary gifts last week. I will repeat it. My Cash App, I don't have it up, but it is dollar sign RELIFE. RELIFE. Dollar sign RELIFE. And if you would like to bless me for my 1 year anniversary, I will certainly appreciate that. Okay, let's get to this place. I want to give you at least 2 to 3 minutes to just share your heart to our listening audience. Usually I bring our audience in. I didn't see any comments, but one just popped up. So let's see. Hey, this is one of my favorite people. I cannot wait to get on the show. This is Pastor Teresa McClory, and she's saying to you, congratulations. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Pastor Teresa. I cannot wait until you come on the show. So back to our guest, Pastor Tammy. Would you just take a few minutes and let our listening audience know whatever is on your heart, whatever it is that you want to share with them tonight?
Absolutely. So, one of the things that I want to share with you tonight is no matter what you're going through right now, and we have the pandemic and everything, people are losing family members, and there's a lot going on. And I want to say tonight that always remember that no matter what you're going through, God is with you. And sometimes it may not feel like it. It may feel like he's far, far away. But I want you to take a moment where you just sit with him and talk with him and commune with him, because life can be hard, especially if you're a single mom, if you just lost your spouse, if you're trying to make ends meet, whatever you're going through. One of the
Yes.
things I do have, and I didn't mention, is that I'm also a life coach. I'm also a transformational life coach. And one of the things that I did was I took the pain that I've gone through and allowed it to be a blessing to others. So I started this company called Be Healed Coaching, because my journey in life is to see God's people healed. And so go to my page, Be Healed Coaching, like our page. They have wonderful things on there, to allow you that moment where you can walk in the freedom that God wants you to walk in. I
Yes.
think this is a wonderful thing that we're doing with all three of these books. These women have, took a chance on sharing their moments, sharing their transparency. Get the book, go to my website, go to Amazon, go to my website, go to Amazon. My website is Destined to Inspire. We would love to get these three books to you. If tonight, I got a special just for tonight. If you go
Okay.
to my website and you order your book, I'm going to send you three books for $35.
Wow. That is a deal. Listen, that sounds better than Black Friday deal to me. So you all better
Absolutely.
jump on it tonight. You heard her. If you order the book, you're gonna get all three for $30. That is a deal. Come
That's a
on,
deal.
y'all. Go to her website. Please repeat it one more time.
It's destinedtoinspire.com. Very easy.
Des- destinedtoinspire.com. Well, Pastor Tammy, sitting around the table with you tonight was such a pleasure.
Thank
And
you.
I'm telling you, um, we can make things happen. We made this happen. And so I am just so excited that
Absolutely.
you were here with us tonight. Remember, if you take the time out to read, if you take the time out to share, you are inspiring someone else to also take the time out to read and to take the time out to share.
Mhm.
So until next Friday, I would like to invite you to come on back and sit with me around the table at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where this is a place for authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs. And I want to thank my special guest tonight, Pastor Tammy Vaughan, for coming and sharing with me around the table. So until next week, I will see you all. Have a happy and fantastic. Oh, it's Thanksgiving next week. I won't be on next week. I am taking Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving off to spend with my family. So God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any last words that you would like to share tonight before we leave?
Absolutely. I'm gonna read a quote that's on the back of our cups, and it says, "Tell the story of the mountain you climb. Your words can become a page and someone else's survival guide. Tell your story. The Bible says that we overcome by the word of our testimony, because your story can bring life to someone else."
Wow, that is awesome and that is good. So until next time, which I think is December 3rd, I
Mhm.
will be right back here ready to sit around the table with you. Come on back and invite someone with you. Until then, this is Vision Coach Alicia saying ta ta.